What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from TheQuartering. Several pieces of very bad news today for Bud Light, as officially now the boycott has dethroned Bud Light as the number one top selling beer brand after the boycott. People stuck to their principles on this. They fought hard. They spread the word and won. I mean, I don't think Bud Light's ever going to apologize. I don't think Bud Light's ever going to disavow. At this point, it's been months. But I will say this, that's fine. People left. They lost billions of dollars, and that's a win. Sometimes these companies will rather just ride their ship right into the iceberg and go down with it. And that's their choice. But as long as there's a huge financial penalty for that, that's still a huge win. And several pieces of news today to celebrate. And this is what happens when companies get woke. Bud Light dethroned as top beer selling brand in the United States after the boycott. By the way, Father's Day just a week away now. So if you haven't yet, make sure you follow the link in the description and go get your Father's Day gift box. Dads, fellas that watch my videos, send the link to your wife, promo code DAD. You'll save 10%. Your kids need a gift idea for you. These things sell out every holiday season for us. I want to make sure that you get yours on time. It comes in a really nice giftable box. It has a nice card inside. Promo code DAD, you'll save 10%. We have several pre-built options that are amazing. And then also you can custom build it. So if you know what kind of coffee, tea, or cocoa you want or what kind of snacks you want, you can pre-build it, save 10%. Father's Day is just about a week away. So don't procrastinate much longer. And also the one-time quartering Coffee Brand Coffee crossover hat is now doing pre-orders. Shipments start July 25th. I'm only going to do a one-time order of these. So if you want to do that, if you're going to pre-order, if you're going to get both, pre-order it separately because it's going to ship separately. I want to make sure you get your Father's Day box. So order the hat first and then order the Father's Day box so they're separate. But this is for everyone who wants to support TheQuartering, my channel, Coffee Brand Coffee, companies that refuse to get woke, local companies. So also link to the hat in the description below. Bud Light dethroned as top-selling beer in the United States after boycott. Modelo Especial is now the number one beer in America, the U.S. distributor has said, after sales data showed it outsold longtime industry leader Bud Light in recent weeks. Modelo Especial's store sales topped $333 million in 4 weeks ending May 28th, a 15% rise on the same period last year, compared with Bud Light's $297 million, a 22.8% fall, according to IRI data obtained by Newsweek via Constellation Brands, the Mexican beer United States distributor. Bill Newlands, chief executive officer of Constellation, said the 4-week jump had happened quicker than we had anticipated. We thought it would take a little longer, he said. We've been very fortunate that it's gone a little quicker than we anticipated, but what a great position to be on the beer side. Anheuser-Busch, the makers of Bud Light, have been approached for comment. Longer-term trends show Bud Light remains the top-selling beer in America this year so far, according to Nielsen IQ. Its data showed that Bud Light sales value represented 9.1% of the total market in 2023 compared to Modelo's 8%, representing a gap of several $100 million. AB InBev, the brewer's parent company, has owned the bulk of Modelo Especial makers since 2013. However, to seal the deal, U.S. regulators forced AB InBev to sell Modelo's U.S. business to Constellation Brands in a bid to preserve competition in the American beer market. Bud Light sales have been down for several weeks amid conservatives calling for a boycott of the brand for collaborating with that, person who likes woman face. I mean, you think that you see LOL, a company spends 100 years developing its brand identity and in one spring event loses its identity over reaching out to those with identity issues, which represent around 1 million people in total, about 0.2% of the population, according to Alpha Publications. I mean, numbers matter, right? That's the truth. So Probably the most embarrassing thing yet for Bud Light is to fall to number 2. And the second piece, the second piece of really bad data is bad news. I'm sorry, is that Bud Light is set to lose a big chunk of its business now permanently. The damage Bud Light has done to its brand is maybe irreparable. It seems at this point that the best the company can hope for is to wait out the controversy until the fury over the misstep subsides, but that company can now kiss a certain percentage of its business goodbye permanently, according to a new Bernstein note. Anheuser-Busch InBev, Bud Light's parent company, can expect a, quote, permanent 15% haircut to Bud Light sales, Bernstein analysis Nadine Sarwat and Trevor Sterling wrote in a note, according to Forbes. Bernstein also lowered its overall 2023 profit forecast for the company to 6.7%. Despite the grim outlook for Bud Light, it's still firmly bullish on Anheuser-Busch stock due to the current pricings and things of that nature. I mean, Bud Light is only one small part, but the fact that now the market has basically said, hey, it's permanent. We're done. Turn them over. You're crispy. It's, yikes. That's a harsh reality for a lot of people who have big, salary bonuses and stuff like that. But I saw the stock the last couple of days creeping back up, probably because, it can only bottom out so much. So over the last 5 days, it's up 3%. It's climbing back a little bit, but it's still down 15% over the last month, 7% over the last 6 months. It's still, it's still, down billions and billions and billions of dollars. Bud Light obliterated in latest sales data. I've got the best part, like the third piece of bad news for them coming up here. Bud Light sales continue to get crushed, and the latest data is damning. The once popular beer brand under Anheuser-Busch's umbrella has been getting destroyed ever since it went woke and teamed up with Dylan Mulvaney. AB's stock price has significantly declined over the past 2 months. Bud Light cases sit in stores gathering dust, and there doesn't seem to be an end in sight. Now more sales data is pouring in, and it's absolutely brutal. Bud Light sales are down 24% on the dollar basis for the week of May 27th compared to last year. It's just the latest sign the beer brand continues to get obliterated ever since it's decided to team up with Dylan Mulvaney. It remains in big trouble. Anheuser-Busch's stock decline before the market opened Wednesday was $54.93. That's 17.68% decline. It's not just bad for AB, it's brutal beyond words. Bud Light is getting crushed might be the best example of ever going woke and going broke. Look, one thing I will say for sure is, like, we don't have to get too worked up. Bud Light's not going to close their doors. But they did just wither away billions of dollars in years and years and years and years and years worth of marketing overnight. They could have handled this so differently because, ultimately they ended up having the LGBTQ community mad at them anyway. So they really just needed to issue an apology immediately, but they didn't. And they were paralyzed because they knew if they apologized that the LGBTQ community would eat them for lunch. But now the scene is so messy that it's too late. They could have come out and apologized anytime in the last couple of weeks and probably saved Memorial Day, but they didn't. So now, honestly, if I was advising them, I don't know that I would even apologize because people have already switched beers. They're drinking something different. The beer is stigmatized to the people that it's going to be stigmatized to, and that I don't know if there's any value in apologizing. I don't know if there's a lot of people that would willingly go back to Bud Light unless your apology would be so epic and so perfect that you could hit a home run. Because if you stumble on another apology, it's curtains. It's going to reignite everything. But if I don't know what you'd have to do. I would have to sit and think long and hard and have a massive budget on how I could try, how I would even begin to apologize. It would start with owning and accepting responsibility. It'll also include things like saying, no, these people have not been put on leave. They've been fired. The agency that, suggested this, they've been fired. We're sorry. We've got no direct hate towards Dylan. They just did their job. However, this is not a good fit for our brand, and it was a huge misstep, and we're sorry. And here's 2 free cases of beer. Here's a year's worth of beer for free if you buy a year's worth of beer. It would have to be something insane. And that would cost a lot of money too. And hilariously, Dylan Mulvaney has now weighed in. Dylan Mulvaney has no regrets about Bud Light disaster. My transition is for me. Dylan Mulvaney, this is the third piece, which is just insult to injury. Dylan Mulvaney couldn't care less that Bud Light has been destroyed. We all know about the promo. I'm not going to go through that. The activist influencer whose shtick seems to be focused on profiting from mocking women did a profile with them, and that's their one takeaway. Bud Light's issues and all of Mulvaney's critics aren't the focus of the TikTok influencer. Why would they be? What does Dylan care? They got paid to do a job. I prefer not to name any of these people because it gives them the satisfaction of believing they're on my mind. Oh, they are. It shows my followers that I'm standing up for myself, but it also pushes their narrative is loud enough to matter. Oh, it matters. That's why you haven't done any ad reads on TikTok in a long time. That's why you started selling items on TikTok but not marking them ad, violating FTC rules. Some screenshots I saw. Maybe they missed it or misrepresented it, but certainly you've been very, very careful about it. I don't regret any of the things that I've posted. I want to make sure that I get my transition is for me. Well, that's why you're selling it and putting it out on the world. Sure. It's kind of like redefining a relationship. When it gets too personal or too hands-on, it can be hard to scale back. I'm hoping that people that do love me will be ready when I start to do things that aren't just me trauma unloading on camera, the influencer further told the outlet. I mean, when's the bottom surgery, Dylan? I think that people want to know. Dylan's just laughing at Bud Light, which is the perfect cherry on top of all of this. Dylan doesn't care because Dylan's getting more ads than ever, I'm sure, more offers than ever. And that's what it's all about. It's all about money to Dylan and insulting women. And after Dylan, there'll be another person that does it until such a point where people get, enough is enough and they start pushing back, like with Bud Light. Don't forget Father's Day just a week away. Link in the description to Coffee Brand Coffee's Father's Day gift boxes. We will never get woke. We are apolitical completely. I don't care what your politics are. I want to sell you delicious coffee, tea, cocoa, and premium snacks. That's what I want to sell you. And if you haven't yet, make sure you reserve your quartering Coffee Brand Coffee crossover snapback. We're doing a one-time run of those only, and I'm cutting off the orders on Friday, or next Friday. So if you haven't yet, make sure you reserve that. That's for everyone, even if you don't like coffee, tea, or cocoa, and you just want to be a Chad with an awesome hat. Or what is the female version of Chad? Can there be a female Chad? You will be with this hat on. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't yet, subscribe down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.